I'm Aaron Gallo.
I'm Marty Hogan.
And I'm Eric Berry.
And we're from the Starfleet Escape podcast. And you're listening to another great Four-Eyed Radio product. For more shows, check out foureyedradio.com.
This is Austin St. John, and you are listening to Ranger Command Power Hour. Back to action, baby. For those of you coming to see me, Austin St. John, at Power Morphicon in Pasadena this year, 2014, you had better be there. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet the original Red Ranger from Japan and the original Red Ranger in the English-speaking world, Austin St. John. Man, we are going to be there, and we are there to meet you. Are you going to be there? Ranger up.
And now on Ranger Command Power Hour. Hey, what's just around the corner? Yeah. Hey, what's the matter with the lines and all the signings? Oh, hey, Pasadena Convention, August 22. Come on, buy tickets. Yeah. Don't be crazy, you're in a line, and don't whine or you'll get the pie. Come and get your con. 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 Hey, what's the matter with your cosplay? Don't you cosplay? Maybe. Hey, oh yeah, get props in the showroom. Alright, I said find it, find it. Come on and buy it if you like it. Yeah. Hey, it's your business. If you want some, take some. Get those exclusives maybe. Come and get your con. 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 Power Morphicon, Power Morphicon, Power Morphicon now. 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 Come and get your con. 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 Hey, what's the matter? Don't get con blight. Don't you feel alright? Maybe. Hey, oh yeah, got it from the fanboy swine right. La 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 la. Come and get your con. La 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 la. Come and get your con. La 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 la. Come and get your con. La 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 la. Come and get your con. Today on the Power Hour, episode 18, Ranger Convention Survival Guide, Power Morphicon, recorded on August 5th, 2014. I'm Eric, also known as Trekkie B47.
I'm Zach, also known as the Cinema Slob.
And I'm Chris, also known as Kickback.
This episode is brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com. Welcome, everyone. Today we have a couple Ranger Nation guest hosts joining us today. First, we have Susan Matisi, who we interviewed on episode 9. She is currently working with Austin St. John on his convention tour and public relations. We also have Mark Smith, a.k.a. at Mainstream Live, also Heirloom on YouTube. He is a Power Rangers reviewer. Welcome to Ranger Command, both of you.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good.
Welcome back,
Hiya.
Susan, and welcome, Mark.
Hello.
You are joining us very late in your time zone.
Yes, it's almost 25 past 2 in the morning.
Awesome. So let's get going with this.
Mark, what's the future like?
Can you
Right
give
now
me the
it's-
lottery numbers?
It is 3, 8, 32, 41, and 1.
Drinks on everyone at Power Morphicon. So we are here to talk about probably the biggest event in Ranger fandom since I don't know when. This is going to be huge, Power Morphicon. We wanted to give everyone a convention survival guide. I've heard from a lot of people, including one of my roommates, who have never been to a convention before, or in the very least have never been to Power Morphicon before. So we just want to give everyone a heads up, and if this is your first convention or your first Power Morphicon, what to expect. This will be my first Power Morphicon, but it's not my first convention. I've been doing conventions for more than 10 years. So I know how the game works, but I don't know what to expect with Power Morphicon. So what kind of convention experience do you guys have under your belt?
Oh my gosh. Well, this will be my third Morphicon. I've been to loads of conventions. Anime Festival Orlando like 5 times in a row. Lexington.
Yeah.
Yes. Lexington Comic and Toy Convention, Lexington, Kentucky, and lots of small ones all over the place with different folks. So I've been to loads and loads of them, all different types.
Mark, how about you?
I've been going to conventions pretty much all my life. We have a main one over here called MCM, which is an okay convention. It used to be really good back in the day. I've been to Dragon Con, Power Morphicon, and just little conventions around the UK, basically. We don't really have that many going on every week or anything like that.
Yeah, it seems especially there's like a convention season here in the States, and there's something going on every weekend somewhere. Zach, how about you? What's your convention experience? We met through a convention.
Yeah, we did. We actually met at a Wizard World convention once upon a time ago.
Yeah.
I've been to quite a few different types of conventions. I've been to anime conventions. I've been to comic book conventions. I was at the very first Power Morphicon, which I've told stories about that every chance I get. I consider myself a seasoned con goer.
And then, Chris, we talked about this on the last episode. You went to the largest convention ever.
Twice. I was doing official and unofficial Transformers conventions from 2002 till 2011, I think. I kind of helped run a couple of them in between all of that. And then, of course, the last 2 years I've done San Diego Comic-Con. So I'm confident that I can handle whatever this experience throws at me. So.
Yeah, I think you can handle it.
It sounds like out of the 5 of us, only Chris and I are the ones that have not been to Power Morphicon. We'll count on you guys for that experience in this podcast.
All right.
And then for me, I've been going to anime conventions, Star Trek conventions, comic book conventions, Wizard World, C2E2, and different states. I think Power Morphicon will be the first convention where it has every single guest that I want to see. I mean, this is such a specific, tailored experience to Power Ranger fans. It's insane.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm going to go into guest overload.
Entirely possible. Yeah. See, my thing is, I've never been to a Power Morphicon that I didn't work. I've never been as just an attendee. So I don't really have any experience in that. I'm always working them. So I know some of the behind-the-scenes stuff because I was with Jason and... Sorry, got to be Jason specific in this fandom.
Right.
I was with Frank in 2010, and then I was with Dan Southworth in 2012, and I'll be with Austin this year. It's different, especially when you're talking about different, I don't want to say they're different level guests, but, some people draw more than others. That's a little bit different experience there when you've got the big draws where they have 300 or 400 people in line at any given time.
Right.
And the other folks where you might have 10 or 15 in line at any given time. It's cool either way, because with less people, they get to spend more time with you and talk to you and stuff. It's good both ways.
With this level of guests at Power Morphicon, I think they're over 110 at this point.
Yeah, something crazy.
Something crazy
Wow,
like that. Yeah. Have you been checking the updates, Mark? It's crazy. But with this level of guests, and I have no idea on attendance numbers, how would you say past Morphicons have shaped up in terms of attendance? Are we talking thousands, hundreds?
Ooh, I don't know. The first one, there wasn't that many because I don't think it was advertised very well. Talking about 07, there's quite a few people there. Some of the people that I wanted to see and that I completely geeked out over and just literally turned into a puddle on the floor, especially when they're in lifts. It's just crazy. The second one, I think there was a more of a turnout because when Scott took over, there was it just seemed to have more advertisement that you'd see these names pop up and it'd be like, yeah, come to this, and it was everywhere. I think Will and Bruno, I think before I even knew who Bruno was, but Will had been constantly just doing promos and stuff and getting them out there, and it drew more people in compared to the first one. It's
great. I love when fans take video and footage because the last 3 Power Morphicons, I basically lived through other people's videos. And I made it a point. I said, you know what? I have a feeling after the 20th anniversary, this is going to be a big one. So I started saving ever since last year for this. I was first in line to get one of those platinum badges before they sold out. So I knew it would be crazy. And I'm so glad that I secured a spot, and I'm glad all of you guys did too, because this is pretty much unprecedented. Who knows if Power Morphicon is ever going to reach this height ever again.
Right. I have to say, there's probably, of all the folks that I would like to see there, there's maybe, I can only think of 1 or 2 that actually aren't going to be there. I would love to see Johnny Young Bosch, of course, again.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was there last time, and that was the scheduling conflict. It wasn't because he didn't want to be there. Honestly, I seriously can't think of much more. And I was really glad today when they announced TJ Rotolo. You have to know who stunt people are, but he and Dan work together a lot on the live shows and on the actual television series. And then we've got a couple of stunt folks from Japan that are coming, and that stunt panel, I won't get to go to it, but I'm hoping somebody will record it because that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to go to that. That's going to be great. So, speaking of guests, let's get into the news a little bit and talk about who they announced this past Monday. First, an update. On our last show, we said that Allison Kipperman, who played Taylor on Power Rangers Wild Force, canceled, but she has been added back to the schedule for Saturday-only appearance. And I think that's one of the first tips I can give out. If you want to see someone, double-check what days they're going to be there. Because I know there are a lot of Saturday-onlys or Friday-Saturdays.
Right.
Next, sad to say that Jason Smith, who played Casey from Jungle Fury, he is no longer able to attend, and he will not be at the show.
Yeah, that one made me sad. I was really kind of looking forward to hanging out with him.
Yeah, me too. Chris, you were too, right?
I got to meet him at San Diego in 2013. He just kind of showed up. But he was incredibly polite, nice, and very enthusiastic to meet anybody. And it was kind of fun because when I met him, people were like, "Oh, you were a Red Ranger," and he was like, "Well, I was a Red Ranger for Jungle Fury." Like he felt like he had to correct everybody, And I was like, "No, I know who you are."
Yes.
Like Casey. And he's like, "Oh, okay, mate, cool."
And if anyone follows his Twitter, he watches the Sentai. He knows what it's all about. And I think that's really cool. Next, as Susan mentioned, we got TJ Rotolo, monster suit actor for Power Rangers, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Wild Force, Time Force, Beetleborgs, Masked Rider, Kamen Rider, Dragon Knight.
You name it, he got slapped around in it.
Next, we've got Barry Evans. He is a Japan suit actor for stage shows and was Ultraman Taro, Kamen Rider Black, Kamen Rider V3, and he's pretty active on Facebook Rangers. He is just a super cool dude, so I'm really looking forward to meeting him.
I've followed him for a while, like back at the first Morphicon. I didn't realize he was coming to this one, so I was like, oh, I can actually now speak to you properly and be like, hi. It's really random that he's going now.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's added. We have Matt Frank, who is a Godzilla artist, and on the Power Morphicon Facebook, they showed some of his artwork that he did for MMPR, and it looks pretty good. So I'm excited for that. Next, we've got Gokai Puppy.
The most polarizing announcement I've seen all.
I know. What is the big deal, people?
Yes, a Saturday-only special appearance. I've seen some crazy reactions to it's guys, chill out. I know the owners, they live about 15 minutes away from me. They were bringing Leia as the puppy's name, so they were going to bring Leia anyway, and I guess Scott decided to make her a guest. And I think it's fun. I think it's a fun thing.
Yeah, I agree. It's a unique experience to have, hey, I want to bring my dog. Is there a way that we can make this okay?
And she cosplays in the pink Super Mega Force or Gokai Pink, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I think kids are going to flip for this.
Oh, yeah. She's cute as a button. I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah.
So I'd rather see her than some of the cosplayers I know.
Oh.
All right. No, some of the quote unquote professional cos.
Yeah.
Not Jay's cosplay. They're cool.
Yeah.
They're cool.
Okay, and then finally we've got JC Alcantara, also known as Henshin Vault. He has done the artwork for the Power Rangers Mega sets from Shout Factory. Pretty cool dude, prop maker, prop designer. So I'm very glad he'll be at the show. He provided the Gokaiger pins and the coins that will be in people's goodie bags at Power Morphicon.
Prop maker extraordinaire. Very cool guy.
That's the guess, and now we're going to get into our big survival guide. We actually got a lot of responses from our listeners in Ranger Nation, and so I've kind of sprinkled their tips throughout each of our sections. So first, before you even go to the show, packing. Like, I don't know how you guys do it, but I have a checklist. I double check everything. I make sure I have everything ready to go. Electronics. Anything that you want in terms of recording the show, camera, computer, get your portable chargers. I learned that the hard way at Toy Fair. My buddy who took me, he said, you know what, you got to bring one of those portable chargers so you can charge your phone and your device. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll get one. And I sat on it. I didn't get it. And boy, did I ever regret that.
Got to have the Mophie, or whichever portable battery you have.
Yes. Ranger Command Power Hour, sponsored by...
Yeah, exactly. I work for Best Buy, okay? I'm sorry. All right, let's just throw Best Buy there while we're at it.
And then batteries. So Power cord.
Don't forget your power cords.
Yes, do not do that.
Don't get halfway across the country without your power cord for your laptop. That's bad.
So it would be worse for me if I left my power cord at home. On the other side of the world for me.
Well, for you, Mark, since you're in the UK, shouldn't you have a power adapter for American plugs?
I have one somewhere. Where it might be, I don't know.
See, I reminded you.
So I was going to say, it's probably good that we're reminding you so that you have the time now to locate it before you need it.
Next, clothes. This is important, guys. Clothes to last the entire weekend. If you are going the entire weekend, bring a fresh pair of clothes for every day of the convention.
Yeah.
Please.
And take a shower, please.
We're going to get to that.
Oh, we're going to get into that hard.
We got to have a con-funk section in this, okay?
Oh, yes. It's there.
Oh, it is there.
Regarding the clothing topic, see, I tend to overpack. So odds are I'll come prepared. Okay, so it's a weekend for the convention. I'll come with clothing for like 8 days. Just 'cause,
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a woman, so of course I overpack. You know, there's no traveling light when you're female.
I cannot travel light to save my life. I am a heavy subscriber to the theory of better safe than sorry.
Yes, and I think that's a good tip for any convention.
Yes.
Better safe than sorry.
Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly.
Cosplay. If you are a cosplayer, don't forget your cosplay. I've never been on a plane with packing cosplay. I've always, locally. So I'm debating whether or not I'm going to be bringing my Silver Guardian just because I know I'm going to be doing interviews. But at the same time, I'm like, but Dan Southworth's going to be there, and I need to get a picture.
You need to get a picture of you in your Guardian's costume with him.
So I will find the time and make that happen. But anyone who has a Power Ranger suit, Mark, you'd probably be good at giving us some tips for Power Rangers cosplay packing.
Oh yeah, the way that I do mine even if I travel in the UK is I always put my socks and pants in the helmet. It's just safe, and it acts as like a spare,
like a cushion.
Yeah,
like an internal cushion.
Yeah, I've never put helmet. I've always taken my helmet on as hand luggage, but I think this time I'm gonna have to put it in my suitcase because I've got all my camera equipment. What the best option to do with that one is you can put your helmet in the center of the suitcase and just kind of wrap around it. By putting pants, socks, t-shirts, whatever you want to inside the helmet, you're padding it out to kind of give it some more structure as well as saving space at the same time. Just wrapping around it so it's easier and portable without having to put layers upon layers of bubble wrap around that helmet to make it be okay so it doesn't get cracked or damaged.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously it's just making sure that you go over it, like you said before, you make lists and you double check, because if you forget something, you just can't nip home and get it. Well, for me, it cost me another £1,000, which I don't particularly want to spend, and I'll miss the convention. But it's just making sure everything's there, everything's secure. Even packing a week before, just to make sure your costume's there, to make sure it's done, because yet we've not had proper morphers, and the day those are made, sales go up and Anarchy charges a lot more.
Right. Also, I would suggest an emergency cosplay repair kit. I know some people are more talented than others at sewing. You never know when something could snag or rip or might get damaged in transport. So if you're a cosplayer and you're adept at that sort of thing, even if you're not, bring it anyway, because I'm pretty sure there's someone at the convention that'll be able to help you.
Oh, yeah. And guys, may I just say that? Well, girls too, really.
Yes.
Please bring whatever you wear under your costume. Please don't forget it, okay?
Yes.
Please, guys, please don't forget the dance belt or whatever you wear. Okay, please.
Please.
It's called.
It's called a cup.
I was going to say it's called a dance belt.
Dance belt. Yeah, dance belt. Under Armour.
Yeah.
No one wants to see your dangly nerd bits.
No, nobody does. And think about if you're a kid walking around. My friend.
You're at eye level.
Oh, God.
Exactly. My friend Zach brought this up. He said people should not be allowed into a con with their stuff hanging out like that because you are eye level with the kids, and that's just not something they need to see.
Well, I need brain bleach now.
I know, right?
I've seen that at way too many conventions. It's not a pretty sight. I don't want to see it. Kids don't want to see it. You're horrifying everyone. Just tuck it back.
I believe they call it a moose knuckle.
Why?
Why, God, why? So, yes.
Command after done.
Oh, God. Yeah, we got to get into that 18 over panel before we forget. Oh, Lord.
So, cosplayers, please, for the sake of humanity, and the actors don't want to see that, too.
No.
We've got a lot of first-time actors here. Let's not scare them away forever from the fandom.
We should have a map to the local sports store and just go, look, guys, if you need an emergency cup, it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
I might buy extras just for anyone who I see and just say, oh, okay, dude, use this.
Here you go,
we can make it like a scavenger hunt. Find the people who need them and point them in our direction where we will hand them the cup or the dance belt.
That's a scavenger hunt I don't want to be a part of.
Here's a great time to bring this up, okay?
Okay.
I'm sitting with Jason Font and Azim from the Force in Lexington, right? And they're talking about Jason was talking about when he went back to do the mega battle thingy, whatever it is, the war,
Yes.
that the suits were a little different than they were when he was on before, and that they made them wear different things underneath. And Nazim is like, oh yeah. He was like, I have to wear 2. And I'm like, 2? And he was like, yeah. He was like, 1 to gather and 1 to smush. And I'm like, all righty, Nazim.
Oh my.
So there you go. So next time you see him, think about that.
Well, there's no way I won't be able to now.
I feel like I just got to know him so much better now.
I know, right?
You met him at San Diego.
Yeah, I've never met him, and I already know more about him than I care to.
It makes some of the pictures I have a little more awkward. I'll tell you.
I just looked at him, and I'm like, all right, dude. Glad to know that. He brought that up in the 18 and over panel, too. So.
Well, that's kind of interesting that the suits have changed. That new tip, guys, that would be a very excellent question to ask behind the scenes. So instead of, hey guys, what's your favorite Zord?
Well, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. All right, next for your packing, make sure that you bring any items that you want to have autographed. That is pretty important. If you're bringing a DVD box set or picture that you have, which reminds me, I'm bringing my SPD poster that I had signed by half of the cast at 2005 Youmacon, and now I'm bringing it because I finally get to meet Matt Austin and Brandon J. McLaren, finally get my poster signed.
Cool guys, both of them. That brings up a good idea. If you plan on buying poster prints, bring a poster tube with you because they're very hard to find out there. You're not around an office supply store. Bring a poster tube with you. It'll go in your suitcase, and then that way you can roll your posters up and they won't get damaged on the way home.
Also, to add to that, bring the 8x10 plastic sleeves specifically meant for autographs. You can probably find them at a comic book store. I have bought a couple at past conventions. I've seen conventions where booths will sell poster tubes and they'll sell autograph sleeves. But for a smaller convention like this, there's no guarantee that any vendors will have any of that. So bring your own.
Exactly.
If you want a specific color for your autograph, bring a permanent marker in the color that you want because they may not have it at the show. And I know some people are particular on that.
Yeah, and if it's something that you want done in like a paint pen or something like that, bring the pen and then just let the person autographing it know that it is a paint pen, and because they write a little different, so they don't screw anything up. Just please remember to let it dry before you roll it up.
Yes.
That's been we've had that mess before.
Next, print out any passes or registration confirmation that you need to present at the show. And on top of that, also don't forget to bring your ID.
Oh yeah.
Power Morphicon specifically said that for registration confirmation, you need to have your ID and you need to print out your confirmation. So do that. I've had mine printed out for like a month now. I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, with me it's a bit different. The email I got regarding my press pass just said that all I need to show up with is my ID. So I don't think there's anything for me to actually print out.
Whatever type of registration that you have, make sure you follow the guidelines on the site.
Not only at the con, but be sure you print out your flight, your flight stuff, your hotel stuff. If your ground transportation, you got to have some way of getting from LAX, if that's where you're landing, to the hotel from the airport. Make sure you print all that out and have it ready.
Yes, and that leads into the next segment. Unless anyone else for packing stuff, have we forgot anything?
There is a store across the street. It's a pretty good little grocery store. I think it's called Jelson's.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm in there a lot.
I've been there before. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They have a lot of stuff, but, if you need some kind of specific, like a medicine or some sort of thing like that, be sure you bring that with you. And do not pack your prescription medicine in your checked baggage. Put it in your carry-on. Just in case you should get separated from your luggage, you won't get separated from your medicine.
Yeah, that's a very good tip. And also, make sure you bring money. It's not guaranteed. No, seriously, because...
Come to Power Morphicon, bring money.
I'm serious because there's no guarantee that the ATMs will be fully stocked at the convention, or there might be a line, and you don't want to miss anything. So
generally as a rule, it is easier to bring cash. That way you don't have to deal with ATM fees, ATMs not having money in them, vendors that don't take cards. Although that's becoming less of a problem these days.
Mm-hmm.
True, and a lot of the actors, ones that do a lot of conventions, they've got the card set up. But ones that don't, they may not even think of that. They're like, oh, it's just cash. So they won't take a card. So just know that there are some of the actors and other guests that will be able to take cards and some that won't.
On actually that note, that reminds me, if you're coming in from out of town, it's a good idea to go to your bank and let them know that you will be out of town. A lot of the times, if you use your debit card or your credit card or what have you in a foreign area, they'll see that as a possible fraud, and they will actually prevent you from accessing your account. When I was supposed to go to Japan, I went into the bank and told them, hey, I'm going to Japan, so don't flag my account. And I'm going to be doing the exact same thing before I leave for California. So, yeah, if you are going to plan on using your card, be sure to let your bank know not to flag your account.
Very good tip.
I have a tip as well. If you've never been to Pasadena, please realize it's not like a 5-minute walk from LAX.
No.
No.
Oh, God, no.
No, it's not.
1 hour, 40 minutes or something.
That leads into our travel and hotel segment. Be sure to check into your flights. I know with Southwest, which is what I'll be taking, 24 hours before you can actually reserve your spot in line, and the earlier you get it, the faster you board the plane. So check into your flight, confirm your hotel registrations before leaving.
Definitely. And if you can, if your airline does, I think most airlines do this, they can send you a text if your flight is being delayed for any reason.
Yes.
And so you know ahead of time, because I've had that happen a lot. And you hate to get that text, but at the same time, it's good to know ahead of time.
I actually got that text earlier this year when I went to Toy Fair, my return flight was delayed. They notified us immediately in the morning. We were able to call them directly and rebook a flight within the hour that they sent the text, and everything was good.
Yep.
So that is a great service. Very good tip. Next, book your transportation from your airport to the hotel. Research travel services such as, shuttle services or cabs, or if you're renting a car.
Yeah, and I understand that you can take the train, is that right, from LAX to Pasadena?
Yeah, I'm looking that up now. They do have
I'm
that.
thinking you can. It's like a light rail. We have way too much luggage to even try that. But if you travel light, and you have like maybe one bag and a carry-on or a backpack or whatever, that's easily done. I think it would probably be less expensive.
$7.
Yeah. See,
Oh, wow.
That's a hell of a lot cheaper than what I'm paying.
Don't some of the hotels in the area, don't they? I'm sure that they do like free shuttle services or something.
They do
Yes.
offer shuttle services. Some may be free, some may not. It depends on which hotel you're staying at. That's a good idea to look into.
And I know Power Morphicon website does have a tab on their page for that information.
Mm-hmm.
Always double check the convention website and even the city's website, because they'll have all the information you need, and also the airport's website.
Right, and there are 2 or 3 different airports that folks could be flying into. It's not just LAX. There's Burbank.
Yep.
And there's also the one that Font flies out of all the time. I think it's called John Wayne. Mm-hmm. It's closer down to where he is. So there's lots of airports out that way. So know which one you're landing at, and and get your transportation from that airport to the hotel.
And another thing is when you are flying in, hopefully people have already booked their flights by now, but just keep in mind travel times, because when you land, give yourself a half hour at least to get your bags. And, depending on which airport you're coming from, at least an hour to an hour and a half, because LA traffic sucks.
Mm-hmm. It does. Yes, it does.
Speaking as someone who used to live in California, yes, I can tell you that Southern California traffic is some of the worst in the world.
So keep that in mind, and I think that train's looking better and better all the time.
Yeah, and if you're arriving late, be sure you let the hotel know that you're arriving late.
I know 2 things, actually. I know that, obviously, with people who are coming from like abroad from anywhere with like money situation, the hotel can actually change money over if you need to with travelers checks or whatever. So I know that the hotels have a certain amount of cash in case you need to get anything from them. Lifesaver last time.
Maybe a good idea to even change over that cash before you leave too, right?
I know for me coming over, I'll have everything in dollars anyway, because I know it's a good exchange rate at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say for people coming into LAX, which is the big international airport, I know there's currency exchange on the premises, but it may be easier just to exchange before you leave.
You may get a better exchange rate that way as well.
And avoid some fees that may happen in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right. I have a question.
Yeah.
Mark, have you had any issues with customs coming into the U.S.?
Not really, no.
Okay. Because I didn't know bringing cosplay items and all kinds of things that they might not normally see in a suitcase. I was just wondering if they gave you any kind of hassle.
No, they give me a really weird look when they see a Power Ranger helmet.
Yeah. I've had that happen, actually. They go through the X-ray, and it's like, is that a helmet in your bag? I'm like, why, yes, it is. The original Red Ranger helmet. Thank you very much. And Melanie had, like, the morpher that we were going to give Austin that some folks had made, that gold morpher that you've seen him with. And the guy was like, I'm not sure how to ask you this. Is that a morpher in your bag? And she was like, no. Oh, wait, yeah, that's what that is. I was like, I thought so. At least with some interesting conversations, anyway.
Is that a morpher in your pocket, or are you just happy
You're
to
just
see
happy to see me, of course.
And you know what? That actually brings up an interesting point. For those of you planning to bring Gabu revolvers, be super careful, and probably don't bring it would be the better advice.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was worried about my Silver Guardians cosplay. It's a military-like uniform,
Yes,
and I've got, it's a toy gun, but it's painted black. So that's what I'm kind of concerned about.
It's a weird sort of gray area with these kinds of things. I remember when I was a child, my family went on a vacation to Germany, and I had like a small like bow and suction cup arrow set when I was in Germany, and coming back into the country, they wouldn't allow me to have it. They actually had to throw it away. So, and yeah, this is a little toy bow and arrow with suction cup darts, but that's...
Yeah, and still, I think the last thing anyone wants is to have their Gabu revolver thrown in the trash.
Exactly.
Right.
So, if you're planning on it, checked bag would be okay.
They have less restrictions with the check bag.
Mm-hmm.
My thing, what happened at Toy Fair, when I was going there, I actually had my Legacy Mighty-Morphin morpher in my carry-on bag, and it's die-cast metal. It's a big hunk of metal that went through the X-ray. I forgot to take it out of my carry-on bag, and they said, we need to check this for a bomb.
Yeah.
They set me aside, and they swabbed my entire Power Morpher. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I've had stuff like that happen all the time. So, yeah, and if you don't fly a lot and you do go through security and they pull you aside and everything, don't freak out. Don't freak out. It's okay. Unless you're hiding something, you're fine. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
Yeah. And give yourself enough time at the airport as well. Keep in mind, if you haven't flown before or if you don't travel a lot, there will be lines for security. Get there at least an hour and a half before your flight, just to be safe.
Yeah, they say for domestic flights, give yourself at least an hour, and then for international, they say give yourself at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. Yeah, make sure you have plenty of time.
And even if you get there early and your flight's not for another 45 minutes, you can grab something to eat, you can double-check your stuff, you can just chill out. So it's better to get there sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to do the Mark way, go and spend the night in an airport. 16 hours before the flight, baby.
Yeah.
Not my idea of fun.
It's not comfortable and it's not fun.
Oh, no. For the first Power Morphicon, one of my closest friends and I, we spent 16 hours in the airport. We flew to Florida. And then when we came back, we actually stayed in the airport again for another 10 hours. So we could go to Los Angeles. It was the most weirdest thing. And yeah, the airport is the most funnest thing at night, just to play around with and just run around. That's UK style, though, you know. So no more slight in America.
Also, for international guests, passport.
Yes.
Big
yes.
thing. Mm.
Yes, do not forget that.
That's anywhere outside the U.S., even North America. If you're coming from Canada or if you're coming from
Yes.
Mexico, you still have to have a passport.
Or at the
Of
very
course,
least, I believe you have to have the passport ID card.
Right. One or the other.
Moving on, I think one of the most important sections,
The most important.
because hygiene
Oh, yes.
and food.
So you're saying that I can't have dirty hands and smell so bad that it puts people off? Gee whiz, I've learnt a lot.
Yeah.
You laugh, but I guarantee there is someone right now who doesn't realize that he is that guy.
Yes.
Don't be that guy.
Please don't be that guy.
I think that was Chris's number one tip. Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Chris, say it one more time because I want to hear that.
Please don't be that guy.
That guy. You heard it from Kickback. Don't be that guy.
No one likes that guy.
Because, newsflash, the world, and especially Power Ranger actors, don't want to smell your fanboy funk. At cons, shower, rinse, repeat.
That just should be a life rule. That should not just be, oh, I'm going in public, I need to take care of yourself, man.
We joke, but seriously, I've been to so many conventions, there are people who don't. They spend the entire weekend in the same clothes. It's disgusting.
I worked conventions where it's just the stench is overpowering, and it is the worst thing to have to experience, and no one should be forced to be subjected to it.
No, I know. The guys at Anime Festival of Orlando, AFO, all the crew, especially the security guys, they wear like a utility belt, and it has a bottle of Febreze hanging on the utility belt. They will Febreze your ass. Yep, they will. And I don't know how Febreze reacts with spandex particularly. I don't know. Never had that option.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to be sprayed down and potentially have your suit change colors, wash it.
Well,
Please.
just remember to look at the weather. Like, if it's going to be 90 degrees in Pasadena, don't pack a sweater.
Yeah.
Another thing to consider, even if the convention center is air-conditioned, you are going to be in the same room or in the same hallways with hundreds or thousands of people. Things are going to get a little hot regardless. Shorts, T-shirt, just be prepared.
Deodorant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, Morphin Legacy at Morphin Legacy said their tip was wear deodorant.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know I've told the story before, but if you smell good, the actors might even comment it. I had Polly Schreier, said that I smelled awesome. And that was at Youmacon. We took a picture. He's like, hey, man, you smell really good. And we made a joke because there are people who don't. They don't smell good.
And I don't know if it's that they just don't realize that they don't stink or if it's just that they don't care. But you should never assume, I haven't really been sweating. I'm sure I smell fine. No, you've been sweating. Go take a shower.
Yeah.
Yes. What's the phrase now? Nose blind? They're nose blind to it. They smell it all the time, I guess, so they don't think it's there. And trust me, one of the last cons we were at, Miami, oh boy, nothing like Miami heat to bring out.
Exactly. It's especially bad in places where the humidity is high or the weather itself, the degree of temperature is high. When I would go to anime conventions here in the Midwest in the summer, it's hot, it's humid, it's disgusting. You stink, you sweat. I would shower twice a day at conventions. Once when I wake up in the morning, and then once again at night before I have to go do – I used to host karaoke, so once again before I'd go to host karaoke. You want to smell good. You don't want to smell like
a typical lives-in-your-basement nerd. Don't be that guy. Do not. Another thing is it's gone so bad, at least the local convention that Zach and I go to, Anime Central, for the past 15 years, they've had Got Soap shirts. It's their slogan that goes on their shirts. Got Soap. They have a motto contest for different ways, like 2004, Stink No More. Like it's gone to the point where cons have to advertise for people to stay clean.
And it still doesn't help. You still will walk by someone and just catch a whiff of something, and that's it. That's it.
I know. Don't you wish that smell had a color so you could avoid it? You could see it coming. You walk into it and you're just like smacked in the face with it. Oh my god.
We need real life cartoon stink lines.
Yes.
With the little flies as well.
Yes, exactly. Yes, you gotta have the flies. Oh, let me tell you, and the guest, there's no quicker way to turn off a guest than to walk up, and your smell gets there before you do. I mean, because, oh my God, there's, like I said, in Miami particularly, because that was the last one I went to, Austin has been through war, and there were still a couple of guys that he was just like, I could see him over there holding his breath. No! And, you know, he's just like, and then he'll turn around, he'll be like, God, he's not trying to make fun of anybody, but I mean, it turns your stomach. You can't help it.
You may want to talk to the actor or whatever, but if you smell that way, they're going to sign that autograph as quickly as humanly possible and move you on.
Yep.
See, I just realized something, because obviously if I'm planning with the costume that I've got, it's mostly black. I'm going to have to have my arms to my sides going, hi, how are you? Like,
it's clinical strength deodorant now, you know?
Get the one that works 24 hours. Take it on.
If you see me with my arms to the side, please just throw Febreze all over me or something. Just be like, there you go, Mark. Like, thanks.
At Anime Central this year, they had the video game room down in the basement.
Oh, God.
You took one step down those stairs and you were hit with the blast, and you said nope, and you went back upstairs.
I believe it.
George Hansen Jr. at Silurian Ranger, our good friend George, he said, number one tip, stay cool and stay clean. Pack some extra clothes, pick up some personal soap, and take a shower twice daily.
Granted, right now California is in some kind of crazy drought. That is no excuse. You shower and you stay clean.
Yes, it's a dry heat. It's still a heat.
Yeah.
You're going to be hot. Sean at Snarky Sean said, my tip, shower, deodorant, teeth brushing, breath mints, clean clothes. Oh, and comfortable shoes, too.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is people don't grasp the concept of stinky breath. So you go up to talk to someone, and, you know, you're in their comfort zone, and they say, oh, hi, and you're like,
hi.
And you're like, oh, God.
And I have to say, comfortable shoes, that is the number one thing, especially at a convention where you're going to be doing a lot of standing, waiting in line for autographs, walking around the convention center. You want to make sure that your feet are comfortable, because happy feet means a happy person.
And girls, don't wear heels you can't walk in. Okay?
Oh, no.
It's a con. Just don't worry with the heels. Don't fall off platforms. That's the easiest way to get laughed at.
I should not bring my high heels.
No, you can leave yours.
I'm sorry, Mark.
Damn, guys. Just bring me down.
Maybe for the VIP thing on Friday, but...
Yes, yeah.
Okay, guys, I can do that. I can just about do that.
Maybe for the 18 and over panel.
Yes.
We could just, throw in some cross-dressing. Why not? We've got everything else in that panel. So I
am down. Let's get the cross-dressing started.
Crossplay. Let's do some crossplay. Next, very important, eat something.
Yes.
Take some time and make sure that you feed yourself. And you also have to stay hydrated. Carry granola bars or some snacks and a bottle of water that you can refill. Mm-hmm. So you will be waiting in line. You will be running around from panel to panel. But take some time. Take a break. Eat something. Eat lunch. Eat a snack. Bring snacks. Mm-hmm. You have to stay alert and also hydrated, because no one wants to call an ambulance because you passed out, because you fainted.
When Eric sent the show notes and I was glossing over them, and I saw...
we were in the notes at the same time.
And I saw he had said, get food, stay hydrated. I wrote in all capitals, seriously, stay hydrated, drink water. Because not only do you need the water and you need to stay hydrated and you need the food to keep yourself going with energy, if you're not eating or drinking something, your immune system will suffer, and that's how you get the con plague.
Yes, the con crud, yes.
Yeah, exactly, and you don't want to get the con crud. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to have fun, so eat, drink plenty of water, keep yourself in good health.
It's going to be quite hard because sometimes if you're in a Ranger cosplay,
Yes.
believe me, when you're in spandex, it's a pain in the ass. But to try and go to the toilet, that's the worst thing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Here's another thing for cosplay. Wouldn't you agree, Mark, that it's always great to have like a handler, a friend?
Yes, I call them I don't know if it's an age rating thing on this on your podcast, but I call them the something. So they get the bag and they have to do it. If they don't come in cosplay and in the group and they know they have to cosplay, then it's like you get to hold everything: cameras, phones, bottles of water, puppies, all my stuff, and the kitchen sink normally.
Yeah. Similarly, I have what I like to call the con monkey. Okay, I'm going to be in costume. I can't hold all this stuff. Guess what? You're my con monkey. You get to wear the backpack with all the food and the snacks and everything.
I think it's very important because I've seen some cosplayers that don't have that. They miss out on a lot because they're struggling to get their stuff together. You don't want to miss anything. And you don't want to miss anything because you fainted because you didn't eat anything.
Exactly. Yeah. And you also can save money by bringing something for you to snack on or whatever, because it's not a real touristy area right there, but still, food is expensive, and anything within the convention center, if they have food, I don't know if they will this year or not, but that's always expensive.
It's always a markup.
Exactly. Bring bottled water, bring protein bars. Try not to live off of soda and candy, okay?
Yeah, no, do not do that.
You will be sick by the end of the weekend.
You'll crash and burn from that sugar high.
And yeah, Susan brings up the great point. I've hosted karaoke at anime conventions for the past couple of years, and one of the things we always do is go to a grocery store beforehand to bring our own food. And that way we have something in the room. We know where food is. You're spending less buying your own food, storing it in your room.
And that is a great point that Allison Coons at Allison Kimberly said. She said, keep as much portable food in your room as possible. Seriously, you won't have the time to find food often.
Exactly, and that ties in when we talked about how we were going to room together. I had made the mention of, we're going to have to go find a Walgreens or a grocery store somewhere to buy cereal. And Chris, you had said something like, cereal, who's going to have time for breakfast? And I said, no, you don't understand. When you're hungry in the middle of the day and you need something, the best thing is just go get a bowl of cereal up in the room.
I was going to say, there's like that. I haven't been to Pasadena in a couple of years, but there's a cool little Mexican restaurant right across on that little mall up on the top level that I remember very fondly.
Yes.
I will be there.
Working the con, I get to eat dinner, but I'm running around in the morning trying to get everything together, and then I'm working at the booth all day till somebody gets a break. I live off of protein shakes, protein bars, cereal bars, that sort of thing, and then I get maybe one good meal a day. Plan for that and be able to have something accessible to you.
Now, I don't know if the Sheraton, which is the hotel that's connected to the convention center, which I know at least Chris, Zach, and I will be staying at, but I don't know if they do like a breakfast thing in the morning. But whatever hotel you're at, double check. If they have something included, like a free breakfast or a breakfast area, totally take advantage of it. Get what you pay for.
Exactly.
Most hotels will charge extra for breakfast and stuff, as Ollie, my friend who organised our trip, didn't pay for breakfast or let us know about it. But it is one of those things where they'll have like the basic stuff, which will be like scrambled egg, toast, bagels, croissants and stuff like that. Normally, I don't normally eat stuff in the morning when I get up, but I know some people do, and a lot of people do actually, now I think about it. But it's always a good thing to actually have sometimes just breakfast to begin with.
It gives you that boost in the morning, especially for a convention where you're going to be on your feet all day.
With our karaoke group, one of the girls bought a portable sandwich maker that she would buy the just add water batter, pancake batter bottles, and we would have pancakes with sausage made in this little sandwich maker for breakfast if we wanted a hot breakfast. So something like that, if you're coming from far away, it's probably not easy to bring something like that, but if you're local, if you live in the Los Angeles area and you're just driving to Morphicon, think about maybe picking one of those up, or if you have one, bring it along. It's just another quick, easy way to make good food and not spend a lot of money doing it.
Next, Mir at Nightmare 10. She was also on the show before. She said, don't give up sleep and food just to keep moving at the convention. It's not worth it. Your health is important. Have fun. I have to agree with this because most, if not all, of panels will be filmed by someone, and it will be on YouTube. If you are feeling tired or if you are hungry, make that sacrifice for one panel. Think of yourself first. Yes, I know people are excited and they don't want to miss anything, but you have to do it. You have to look out for number one, which is yourself, because no one else is going to.
Just take a minute and rest and get something to eat, and you'll feel much better for it.
John Yee at the John Yee said, get a good night's sleep. You don't want to go to the convention tired and grumpy. No one likes a grumpy cat. RJ Sills Uchabro 77 at Anime Redneck, our friend Uchi, he said, always be hygienic and wary of con flu. It can ruin the end to a great weekend. And I put, because I know he experienced this, the example, this year's past Lexington convention.
Yes.
Which I heard actors got it.
Oh, yeah. I personally know of 45 people who got the flu in Lexington, including the promoter, Jared, and his wife, Jamie. Their whole family got it. Everybody along what we dubbed Ranger Row got it. I mean, and it was, we were fine Sunday morning. By Sunday afternoon, we were feeling like crap. And by the time we woke up Monday morning to drive home, we all had fevers, and it was awful. It was awful.
And it kind of ties into, think about all the hands you're shaking, all the things you're touching. Wash your hands before you eat any food. That way you're not contracting any disease or anything like that. It's just a matter of simple hygiene and keeping yourself as healthy as you can.
Also, if you need to, bring a bottle of hand sanitizer.
Yeah, that's a very good thing
on the go. That's the number one thing we can take away from this. If you're sick, maybe think about skipping the weekend or at least limiting your contact in any way possible.
Wear a mask and work it into your cosplay, okay? Don't breathe on people, okay? Don't be the typhoid Mary that makes everybody else sick.
Just put on the Ranger helmet if you want. Like,
don't be patient zero, please.
Yes.
I've never had con flu out of my entire years of going. I've never had con flu, so if I get it...
You shouldn't have said that.
I have to murder people.
Now you have to get it, because...
Now you have to.
If it can happen on the time that I'm on the plane home, don't care. I'm happy with that.
That's actually another thing we should talk about. You know, the emergency that you can get, or any of the airborne or anything like that. You're going to be in close contact with a lot of people, and several of them may be sick. So take something to boost your immune system while you're traveling and while you're at the con, and avoid the whole problem.
That is a fantastic tip.
Like Zach mentioned before, if you're eating something, your immune system is okay. You're not dipping your body to dangerous levels where it's trying to survive. Just be safe. Eat something, for Christ's sake. Like, just do it. Grab a burger. I know we went on a long time with this segment, but it is the most important segment.
Right. It is so important to stress. Stay clean, stay fed, stay hydrated. Those are the three most important things that you can do to make sure that you stay healthy and you don't offend anyone else's senses. Yes,
your roommates will be happy, the guests will be happy, everyone will be happy, and we can have an amazing Power Morphicon. Right. I swear to God, if I come across someone that reeks of high heaven, I will not be afraid to say it straight to their face. I'm like, dude, you need to go to your room and take a shower right now.
Challenge accepted.
Yes. I will be the clean guy. I will say, you, up to your room, showers now.
You be the Febreze.
Yes. In fact, I might just buy a couple bottles.
Yeah, they make the small travel size,
Ooh, okay.
Yes, they do.
If you're having Febreze bottles and you see me running towards you with my arms open, it's spray me, please.
I'll just start spraying and generate that cloud that you can like run into it, like a Kamen Rider Blade henshin or something. that car pops up.
Clean Ranger.
Clean Ranger.
All you're gonna hear from me is, "Oh God, thanks." He's gone. Where'd he go? No, he'll be back in 20 minutes when he's hot.
Pretty much every single one of our listeners who contributed to our Ranger Nation Answer segment had something related to hygiene. Mm-hmm. It is tremendously important. Moving on to guests and autographs. Please remember that actors are people too. for some, this could be their first time interacting with fans. And we know there are guests going that have never been to a convention before.
Right.
They are potentially just as nervous to meet the fans as you are to meet them.
That's true, and people don't realize that actors, they go out there and they do the things we see on TV and movies and stuff, but that's not necessarily who they are in person.
Right.
And several of them are rather, I don't know if I call them exactly shy, but they're not extremely outgoing. And please understand that they all have different personalities, and they're not their character, okay?
Yeah.
Like, don't walk up to Dan Southworth and expect him to be Eric, okay? Because he's not.
Yeah.
And he's a big goofball. He is not like, he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder waiting on you to knock it off.
That's the thing some people might be nervous about. They're thinking about, maybe these badass characters.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, I don't know if I can approach that guy.
Exactly.
And Dan Southworth is the perfect example. On the show, oh my God, you don't want to mess with that dude. But I haven't met him, but from what I've seen on the fan side, and Susan, you've worked with him, he's nutty, he's funny, he's
crazy.
The nicest guy.
Yeah, and I can validate that. When I met him at the first Power Morphicon and I took a picture with him, he was so excited to, yeah, man, let's do a pose. Come on out. And he got out from behind like the autograph table and did this pose, and he's just so nice, and I look forward to seeing him again. I really do.
Oh, yeah, and don't get offended if someone is not as outgoing as you think they ought to be. People come back and they get the wrong idea. They're like, well, they're just not into it, and they didn't appreciate the fans and all that stuff. No, just because you have your class clowns.
Yeah.
You have the people that are very outgoing and loud and funny and smiling all the time and laughing. And then you have the ones that are a little more reserved. That doesn't mean that they're not nice people. They're just different. David Yost is very laid back. He has a very dry sense of humor. He's a sweet guy. He really is. But he's not like Walter Jones, who he's always next to, it seems like. Walter is very, hey, how's it going? He comes out and he's doing some dance moves and he's playing with people and stuff, and that's him. They're just very different people. They're both very nice guys.
The actors are there for whatever reason, whatever their reason is, to meet their past cast members, to give back to the fans, whatever. They wouldn't be there for no reason. Keep that in mind. They want to meet the fans. Just don't go crazy on them. Just, respect who they are as people and try to separate the character from the person as much as possible.
Yes, don't be that guy.
Do not call them by their character names.
No, please don't.
Do not do that.
Saying I can't do to all of them? Oh, guys.
I know we're ruining your dreams.
No, stop it.
Nick Roof at Negato004 said, I say be courteous to others at the con, guest or attendee, and stay hydrated. And don't creep on cosplayers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
And Mark, I'm sure you've had several people take pictures of your costumes. There are certain ways to approach cosplayers, good and bad, right?
Yeah. The main thing is you just go up and say, hi, like your costume, can I take a photo with you?
Yeah.
And that's normally it. I mean, I've seen cosplayers just turn around and go, no, not taking a photo. It's just like, okay. But as my friend and we found out, if they're eating or if they're sitting down, you go, I'll come back later. Normally it's like, can I take a photo? Yeah, no problem. And then you pose. Just remember, if you've got a helmet on and you see them take it off, don't go, can I have a photo? No, you're like, oh
yeah.
God, this drilled hold helmets are the best because you can keep them on, breathe, and go, I can talk. So, but yeah, as soon as you take it off, that's it.
That's a fantastic point, Mark. When you see a cosplayer who is sitting down or who is relaxing, don't bug them. That's just the worst.
Yeah, just wait.
Again, I dress like a Ghostbuster. We have those really heavy proton packs, and we have all of our equipment and everything. And we would often take them off to relax, and then the instant somebody would come, oh, Ghostbusters, can I get a picture? And it's just like, we just kind of took this stuff off. A lot of times people would understand and they'd come back later or whatever. So yeah, if you see a cosplayer who is obviously relaxing and probably doesn't want to be bugged, don't bug them.
And if you see an actor at a restaurant in the area or something, or if there's a few of them sitting around together talking, don't bother them, okay? They're at the con. to see everybody, and most of them are they're not gonna say no, but they want to have some downtime too, to be able to talk to people they haven't seen in years, or who knows, they may be getting together and planning some big new project together. Just be respectful of them like you would anybody else.
So what you're saying is I can't run over to them and go, oh my god, I want a picture, blah, 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 blah. Susan again.
Yes, I'm dashing your dreams again, but just give them some space when they're away from the con.
Can I shout across the room then and go, can I have your photo? So that's enough space.
All right. Do not bore actors with over-the-top fandom terms and analysis, especially in a clearly social situation. They know the work that they did. You know the work that they did. Leave it at that unless it naturally comes up in conversation, or save the question for a panel.
Zord Mechanics 101. That's my question.
Because for some of them, they haven't been on the show in 20 years. They're not going to remember everything. And don't mention something from a different show that they never even worked on.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Ask about the peace conference then.
No, you can't. You remember when I was on the show before, I was talking about how you have the people that always come up and they're like, do you remember when in this episode and you did this and whatever power or whatever Zord or whatever, and they're just looking at, they just glaze over. They don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. And if they weren't on the show, they don't remember. They don't know. They didn't watch the show. Most of them don't watch the other series. They don't watch the Sentai. They don't know.
I think it's important to add to that entire thing, too, is that keep in mind when they're filming the show, they're filming a scene and then they might jump to a whole different episode in the next shot because of the location of where it's at and what happens in the next episode. Then they might jump back to an episode prior. So they don't necessarily shoot everything in sequential order like they, maybe did back in 93 or whatever. But
that's true. The whole storyline of an episode, they half the time don't really know what happened in the episode because they, especially back in the day, they were filming 3 episodes at a time sometimes. So it all gets jumbled together in their memory, and they're like, I don't know.
Right. Next, stick to a convention's autograph and photography policies. If there is no limit, use good judgment. There are many people waiting for the same opportunity as you. Don't be greedy and be fair to everyone else.
There's nothing quite like getting in line behind someone who has 80 items that they need autographed.
Because they're going to flip it on eBay. Yeah. So usually conventions are getting better at posing limits. Just keep it in mind. Just be respectful. Take your picture. Be done with it. If there's no one else in line and maybe you can chat with them for a bit, that's great. But if there's a line stretching back half the convention center, unfortunately, you're going to have to say hi, goodbye, take the picture, business as usual. It just happens. It's going to happen, especially with the more popular guests.
I was going to say, at C2E2 this year, Jason Narvi and Polly Schreier were guests. And, I know Jason. We're friends on Facebook. We've met many times. And I decided to go up and say hello again and get a picture with him. And so there were people in line behind me, so I knew it wasn't going to be very long. So I just said, hi, how are you? It's good to see you again. Let me get a picture with you guys. Are you guys going to be at Morphicon? Great, cool, I'll see you there. And that was it. Try and make it quick, because there are people who are waiting and want the same kind of experience that you're hoping to have.
Right.
Or they never had that experience before, so don't ruin it for others.
One thing I'd like to interject, if I may. I know there's a lot of people that are going to meet certain people for the first time, and they've been waiting, in some cases, 20 years to meet these people. But please understand, from the actor's point of view, they care and they want to meet everyone. That's why they're there. But at the same time, they have 300 or 400 people in line, or throughout the weekend, they're going to see a lot of people. Don't put so much expectation into it that if they're tired or if they're somewhat distracted or whatever, that you get so disappointed because you didn't get the reaction that you wanted from them. I'm sure that it's, in most cases, it's not that they weren't interested in you or they didn't find you interesting or funny or whatever. It's just that they see so many faces and hear so many names and everything, and they're trying to give the same energy to every single person, and it's impossible to do.
And it's tiring on them, too.
Yes, they're very tired by the end of this. You think sitting and talking to people and shaking hands and writing your name on stuff is not difficult, but it wears you out. And a whole weekend of that, cut them some slack too. Understand from their point of view that they're tired and they're a little overloaded as well. That's sensory overload.
Finally, if there's nothing else, I know my parents taught me to always say please and thank you. Even if you're standing in a line for 2 hours, I still ask Power Ranger cast members if they could please sign this, and when they do, I thank them. It's just that little bit of common courtesy that goes a long way, and they'll appreciate it too. Don't be that guy who's just like, oh, hey, sign this. All right.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, don't.
Moving on to schedules and panels. First, at a panel, think before you ask a question. Is it relevant to the season the guests were on? I know this may seem like common sense, but I've witnessed a few questions that go right over guest heads simply because they don't know what you're referring to, and that ties back to being in line. Here's something important. Listen to what people have asked before you. Don't get so wrapped up in thinking of what you're going to ask that you miss what's going on and you end up repeating the same question. I witnessed this at a Star Trek convention, and it was literally one question on one side of the panel, and the next person repeated that question, and everyone was kind of like, wait, what? We just asked that? So just take a moment, think of your question, and just listen. Get the most out of your question. Try to ask a question that gets all of the guests involved on a panel. And it really adds to the whole discussion, and it can lead to interesting stories and interactions. So if you get everyone involved, it's like you basically asked that one question to 8 different people. And that could be the entire panel. Also, give others a chance. Stick to asking that one question. Don't disguise it with, oh, I've got a 2-part question. And don't raise your hand or step up to the mic a second time. There's a great chance that another person wants to ask the same question that you have. One shot, make it count. Susan, can you add anything, especially because you run the 18-plus panel? I know you have a couple tips.
In a regular panel, and this goes for the 18 and over, pretty much anything goes. I will be moderating it, so you'll have to tell me what your question is before I let you ask it. And there have been some questions that I'm like, no, because some things just put certain people on the spot, and I don't think that's fair. Or that it's concerning someone who's not there to defend themselves. So you don't want to do that. But in a regular panel, it's like if you know there is a sore spot, and I'm not going to be real specific, but I think most of you know what I'm talking about. If there is a sore spot with a certain actor or a couple of actors, don't bring it up. Just don't ask it. Generally, you're going to get they're going to change the subject, or then you'll have a lot of people looking at you like you're crazy. Don't bring up stuff that you know you shouldn't even bring up. If you really want to ask them something that's going to bring about a good discussion, talk about other projects that they've done. For instance, Dan has done a dozen different things. He was more than just a Quantum Ranger. He before and after. Research a little bit into some of your favorite actors and see what else they've done and bring that up, because they're you'll see their face light up when you bring up something else they've done.
I'm looking forward to asking him about the Mortal Kombat series that he did. That was awesome.
Yes, he did an excellent job in that. He definitely did. He actually trained with a sword master for a while on that one. So yeah, he'll believe me, he'll tell you all about it.
And finally, we got Expect the Unexpected theme going on. So Kyle at Deadpool Ranger said, when I go to conventions, I save the shopping for the last day of the con. Vendors usually drop prices on the last day because they don't want to take all that stuff back with them. They're more likely to haggle some prices. I'm going to give a counterpoint to that. If there's something that you want and you know is exclusive, get early on that. Mm-hmm. Make that your first priority.
I was going to say, just doing a lot of Transformer shows back in the day and things like that, you may not realize it, but there are collectors going to all these shows that are looking specifically for rare or high-end items. Yes. And they will either know ahead of time who's going to have it, or they will be in there and they're going to buy it on the first day because that's what they want. So if you know that there's something you're looking for and you find it on that first day,
Get it.
exactly.
If you have the money, get it. Yeah, and that's another thing. There are going to be artists at this convention taking commissions. Get that out of the way on the first day. Put your commission in. Give them enough time to work on it. Get your con exclusives the first day because they announce some Ranger keys. Jungle Fury, Violet Ranger, and then, the Titanium Ranger 2-pack. People are foaming at the mouths to get that. Yeah, if you want one, get it. And I know there are people that are going to be buying multiple. I don't know if they're going to place a limit on it, but be prepared.
I kind of hope they do place a limit on it because I think it got said there's like 500, and I don't want someone going, yeah, can I 499 of them? Thank you.
Can I have a case?
Yeah, want the whole box.
Yeah, buy them by case lot.
Yeah, so I'm hoping there'll be a kind of a limit because I actually want that. I want that one of them at least.
Right.
Don't be that guy.
I just want one.
I know personally I'm going to get the limit because I know a couple people who can't attend but want it. But keep that in mind. So if there are enough people that are going for the limit, that's going to run out pretty quickly. So just be prepared. And finally, we have Pittsburgh Martz at Pittsburgh Gamer. He said, make sure you bring your own Dragon Dagger because haters be cray-cray.
So I mean that you're going to go around poking them going, stop being crazy.
I guess that's how they do things in Pittsburgh.
I guess so. And we have some miscellaneous answers from Facebook where we asked Ranger Nation Answers, what is your convention going tip or what do you want advice on? On Facebook, Brandon Anderson said, shower often. Number 2, unless previously noted of prices, be prepared to spend at least $30 on any autograph you want and another $30 for any picture you want. That might be a gross overestimation in some cases, but sometimes that might fall short. Just be prepared. 3, patience is a virtue. Remember that while standing in line. Not every cosplay will be show accurate or have the greatest body. Invoke the golden rule. If you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. Be respectful of cosplayers and other fans. Number 5, mini fridges and grocery store runs will save you in the long run. Next, we have Ken Glenn on Facebook. He said, going to Lexington Comic and Toy Convention in 2015. It will be my 4th year attending, and I'm going to see Austin St. John. Shout out, #Team Austin. Just be prepared and plan your day. Have cash and phone or camera ready. Be aware of prices and aware that you can't have a 5-minute conversation with these people. Be polite to guests as well as those around you, and try not to be an elite jerk and poo-poo those waiting in lines to QA panels by telling those in line, you can see all this online. Just be aware that this is a first convention for some people. Also, for the love of God, shower and bring breath mints.
Thinking they're trying to tell us something.
Yes. We have Jacob Harmon. He says, this will be my first PMC, so I'm extremely excited. A personal tip from my previous con-going adventures. If you want pictures with various guests, make sure you have a point-and-shoot digital camera. My first con, I only used my iPhone's camera, and ever since then, I've always brought a point-and-shoot. The pics will come out exceptionally better. Also, make sure the camera is ready to go to take a picture when you get up to the booth. You don't want to be fumbling around and getting it set up. And he says, #Gecky and Jason.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. When you get up there ready to take a picture, make sure your camera's ready to go.
Yeah.
There's nothing like standing there for 3 or 4 minutes trying to figure out what's going on with your particular camera.
Yeah, there's no time for that. No one's got time for that. So I hope that these tips will help people to make Power Morphicon in 2 weeks be an excellent and fun time. You will be able to see all of us there at Power Morphicon. So say hello to us. Ranger Command, we're going to be wearing some Ranger Command t-shirts. I'm going to have a recorder. We want to get Ranger Nation's feedback during Power Morphicon. We want to get your reactions because this is going to be an amazing convention. It's going to blow everyone away. There's going to be plenty of surprises from what I hear on Saturday of the convention. That will be the biggest day. Who knows what's going to happen? We may see the Dino Charge cast. We may see crazy people in suits. Who knows? Just be prepared. Have fun. We'll see you there. Any last parting words from you guys?
Yeah, I do. I just want to quickly mention, as far as the 18 and over panel goes, as far as we know right now, it's going to be on Saturday night. And you do need a valid ID in order to get in. Mm-hmm. And there is no recording of any kind allowed. No video, no audio, nothing. And if you're caught, you will be thrown out. Keep your phones put away, because we do have people like planted in the audience to keep an eye. And if we have to stop the panel to throw you out, then you're going to have a lot of mad people. It's a great panel. It's a lot of fun.
I went to the one at Lexington, and that was my first Ranger panel over 18. It was freaking hilarious. And it was great. There are stories to tell. It's hilarious. It's great.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with them. We personally invite the guests because we kind of know who's worked together, who has stories. There's some people that people have said, why don't you invite these people? Well, it's not everybody's cup of tea. Yeah. Because it can get kind of wild.
It can get raunchy.
You know, and yeah, it can. And there's certain people, I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but there are certain people that, that's just not their thing. But we will have a good lineup. I can tell you that Mr. St. John will be there. I got a yes from two other people already. I guess I'll go ahead and tell you. Jason Font will be there, and Karen Ashley told me today that as far as she knows right now, she can make it. We don't have a lot of ladies in there. It's not really a female thing. I tell you, the people that can hang, Karen can hang, Erin Cahill can hang, Allison McGinnis can hang. Great ladies. Just follow the rules, and you'll have a great time.
Zach, any other parting word?
I'm just so excited. This will be the first Morphicon I've been to since the first one. I'm all a-quiver with giddy excitement.
Chris, how about you?
This will be my first Power Morphicon, so I'm excited to go and let my Rangers side geek out a little bit, I suppose. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys, obviously.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I've been threatening multiple parties throughout the weekend. I think I've threatened you, Eric, that I may not be sober for a majority of the convention.
Yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, we will be having some kind of live stream on Saturday. The details are to be determined yet. Just keep look on our social media. If you're not going to be at the convention, we can at least try and give you some of the experience at the show.
Even if you can't make a live stream, I'm sure we will record it as well so that it can be available after the stream itself.
Yes, and I think we will try to be recording panels and a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to be setting up a new YouTube channel. All of that will be happening for Power Morphicon. And finally, not to forget you, Mark, any parting words?
I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm really excited. I can't wait. And the 8 over 18s panel, thank you for restoring all the stuff that you made me feel sad about. I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to see everyone out there. From all of us at Ranger Command Power Hour, thank you. Ranger Nation, let us know what you think. Have questions? Email us at rangercommandpowerhour@gmail.com or check us out at rangercommand.com. Chris, goddamn. You can check out Chris's site, tokunation.com, and the Talkin' Toku podcast. I will throw that plug in.
I didn't even see that. That's wow.
He's a ninja.
He's tricky.
So
stealth edit.
Thank you so much, guys, for being on here, and we'll see you at Power Morphicon 2. You've been listening to the Ranger Command Power Hour, only on the Four-Eyed Radio Network. You can catch a new episode every other Saturday. find us on the Morphing Grid at www.rangercommand.com. Follow us on Twitter at RangerCommandPH and like us on Facebook.com/RangerCommandPowerHour.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Guys? Oh my gosh. It's 9:30. And Eric said we were recording at 9:30. Oh, I can't believe it. They're trying to get rid of me.
This has been another great presentation of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. You can catch more shows at foureyedradio.com.